Welcome to another Zen pop-up. So many of you have been asking what software I use when I'm doing these live Zen pop-ups. Now you might have noticed that I did some tests quite a while ago, and I was testing a program called OBS. So it's an open broadcast system that allows you to use multiple media types inside of here with some cool effects going on, and you can do lots of things like pre-recorded content, tons of things. So you've been asking like how to use it and those sort of things. So this is a quick flyby. Now this is not supported. This is nothing to do with Zenler, right? This is just to help you guys out if you feel you need to use OBS. So some of you or most of you are probably quite happy just to share your screen and just show yourself with a background, which Zoom does by default. But if you need to use it for showing pre-recorded, edited content, you need a nice clean way to transition between different scenes, say a PowerPoint scene, PowerPoint presentation, maybe showing a PDF, maybe jumping in and showing some slides, presentation slides from Canva, multiple browser types, showing pre-recorded media, as I've already said, and maybe doing some special effects and things and all these kind of stuff, then OBS could be the way that you want to go. So this is not, we're not going to train you how to use OBS. That would just be too long to take you through it all, and we would not want to support OBS by figuring out your problems with your particular system, because there are things that can go wrong if you haven't got a fast enough system, if you haven't got a good enough graphics card, if you haven't got multiple displays. You know, it's all a real pain. But if you think that this will help you and you're willing to invest in it, it can be a really good way to do to just open things up for you. So you guys have asked, so we've done a little bit of pre-recorded content. It was quite tricky to do this pre-recorded content for some really big reasons. One being I'm showing a recording system. I'm also showing Zoom, which is a recording system, and I'm also using a recording system to capture the screen as well. So I've got 3 captures on top of each other, which causes well, technically it's a little bit difficult to get it sorted out. Hence the reason we can't do this live, because it just would be too messy. It's just too hard to do. So that's the perfect thing, OBS. I can show you pre-recorded media. So I'm going to show you how it's kind of set up. I'm going to show you how I kind of set myself up on the background and how I can sort of just transition between different scenes inside OBS. And I quickly jump in to show you how you connect it up in Zoom. Okay, so you don't see it in Zoom. I'll just show you the settings. You don't actually see it because there was a technical problem with the OBS camera showing up. But it works. All right, so with all these things you need to test it, test. If you don't test it and you jump in OBS and think it's all sorted and you do it for a paid event and it doesn't work, don't come crying to us, because you need to test this stuff with volunteers. It is a little bit technical, especially when not actually really downloading the software. By default it kind of works out the box in a lot of ways. There's loads of stuff on the internet about OBS, and there's loads of you just need to Google using OBS with Zoom, and there'll be a ton of videos. You can just go through those and learn those. So technically, from a technical point of view, if you're going to be showing pre-recorded media, there are extra steps you need to take. I'm not going to go into that. It's using things like virtual cables. That's cabling in there to pipe the sound from the media through to their speaker system the other end, which is a little bit technical. Hence I was doing some tests in the group and playing around a little bit. I was also doing quite a lot of tests in my closed off Facebook group, so my private Facebook group. That's where I test a lot of this stuff out, and that's always a good thing to do as well. So let's jump into the recorded content, and then I'll just jump back quickly and finish this Zen pop-up. So enjoy and learn a little bit more about OBS and how we use it here at Zenler. Okay, so you want to know more about OBS and how to use it. I'm not going to do a full tutorial showing you how you can show pre-recorded videos and things like that with virtual cables. It's you need to find out about this stuff yourself. There's lots of information on the internet about that sort of stuff, but I can show you what you can do. So if I put OBS in here, you're going to get OBS project. It's an open broadcaster called OBS. So you can download this for Windows, Mac, Linux. I'm using Windows, so you can just go in there and you can click this button and you can download that. I'm going to stop that now because I don't want it because I've already got it. So you can download that and install that installer, and it will load OBS onto your system. So we're going to have a look inside OBS now, and you're going to see how it's kind of like how it sort of sets up. By default, OBS will be all connected up to things like Zoom, so you need to go in there and select the OBS from the video source to access it. I can show that as well in this video. So I'm going to just close this down and open OBS up for you. I have some things in there, so I'm going to be creating a new profile for you. So let me close that down. Okay, so this is what OBS will look like. Doesn't look like there's much in there, but it's all kind of there and ready to go. Now, I've created a new scene here. You can create scenes inside here. You can see I've got Zen Popup tutorials, 𝗭𝗶𝗡𝗍𝗧, and I've just created this blank one here to show you. To create a new scene, you just hit new and it will be added to this. Okay, so first we start with, and it's a scene up here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start to add some assets inside here. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to add our Zen Popup asset. So this is the camera. It's basically going to, when we turn on start virtual camera, it's going to make this a virtual camera like a webcam. So that means that in things like Zoom, you can actually select the OBS and the active camera. You need this to be active, this OBS screen to be active, and start virtual camera turned on, but it will actually show what's in here. So you can add tons of media inside here. So you know the benefits. I've been asking about how we do OBS here at Zenler, and this is why I'm showing it to you. So I'm going to go to this little plus button and I'm going to click image. So now it's going to allow me to add an image to this. So I'm just going to call this Zen Popup, and then I'll just call it BKG, and I'm going to click OK. It says make source visible. I'm going to click OK. Now I've got to go and find that background. So in my particular case, I keep everything organized in the same folder. Notice this means that I know where everything is. It's really important to save stuff, so you know where everything is. So all of my assets are in here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to grab this thumbnail. This is actually 1920 by 1080, which is the same dimension as my webcam. This is important. So here 1920 by 1080. This is not, but it's a graphic to go in there. So I'm going to click on this one. I'm going to click open, and now I'm going to click OK, and you can see that I have something in there. If I turn this off, it's going to disappear. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to add myself to this, and you're going to see that I'm going to be on a green screen. So I'm going to be picking the camera source now, the web camera source. So I'm going to click the plus button, and we're going to go to video capture device. So I'm going to type 𝗭𝗶𝗡𝗍 because that's the camera I'm going to select, and I'm going to click OK. And it's going to give me a list of my web cameras. You can see I've got a C920 pointed at my monitor set up there, but I'm not going to use that. I'm going to use the 𝗭𝗶𝗡𝗍. And if I click OK to that, you're going to now see me. I'm actually speaking to you. You can see me in the screen. There I am. You'll notice that I'm on top. I can drag this under and then I disappear because that background is in the way. So there I am here. Now I can position myself into rough position. Now of course it doesn't look very good because I've got a green screen, but in OBS we can actually key this out, or we can make this disappear. I have a separate device for changing the look of my webcam Most webcams have a general device that you can go in and make things sharper and things like that. So in my particular case, I'm using Logitech. So when I come in and select the 𝗭𝗶𝗡 camera and I go to advanced, you're going to notice that I've got things like the autofocus turned on, and I always turn that off and then I resharpen it up. You notice if I drag it this way, it's going to go really blurry. So I drag it until it's sharp. I normally eyeball it. I also turn auto white balance off. The reason I do this is because sometimes if you leave that on and you start moving around, do you see how I'm changing colour now? Do you see how I was quite a bright colour and then I sort of went sort of a weird colour? That's because auto white balance checks in. So I like to turn that off and override it. So we go there, we can get a better colour. There's a little bit too much intensity, so I'm turning it down. So this is my webcam settings, right? Nothing to do with OBS. You can just see the effect of it in here. So once I'm happy with these settings in here, I just shut this down. Okay, so we need to get rid of the green screen. It's really easy. We're going to make sure that our web camera is, I'm more in the middle, so it's twisted my web camera a little bit there. And I'm going to go to filters and I'm going to go effect filter. I'm going to add a chroma key. Okay, so I'm going to click OK to that, and now you're going to see straight away I'm now cut out. Now you need to tweak this for sure because it's not perfect, you know. You can actually check. If I put it down to 0, I can come in here and I can go custom, and then I can actually select a color. So I'm going to go and select a color on my screen. Oh, where's the picker? Sorry, there it is. Pick screen color, and then I go over this and I want to grab one, not the lightest, not the darkest. I want one in the middle. So I'm going to click there and click OK, and you're going to see it's going to cut me out. Now I can bring the similarity up a little bit, and it's going to give me a better key. This is smoothness on the edges, so it kind of smooths thing out. So it's a balance of similarity and that, and color spill will actually turn it, the green, to a kind of grey color. So I keep them around about like that. That looks good to me. And then I click close, and now I am cut out on here, and I can move myself up and down by dragging the side bits and put myself into position. And that's how we can do it. So I have the scene here. Let's just name this scene. Let's rename it and call it let's call it webcam view. Okay, so I have this set up, and you're also going to notice that I've got no sound levels coming through. So I need to put my sound into here. Now you guys, like if you're using Zoom, you can actually select your microphone. Okay, so I'm going to open up, I've got this set on one scene. I'm going to add more scenes to this, but I'm just going to open up Zoom, and I'm going to show you what you see in Zoom and how you set that up. So you've got this running. Okay, you start your Zoom session as you normally would using Zenler. You start your Zoom sessions, and your little window opens for your Zoom, which I'm about to do now, and it will probably be set up with what you've already got. Let me close that. Okay, so I've got this already set onto OBS, so I'm going to just change this over so that right and there. Okay, so I've already got this set up, so let me just bring this in. Okay, so this is my Zoom window. So I've got OBS open, I've got my Zoom window open. Oh, I need to get OBS into Zoom. It's really easy. Going to open the settings, and when the settings open here, I'm going to go to video, and you won't see your video camera. If OBS is using your cameras, you're not going to be able to select it in Zoom. So if you've got OBS open and it's running like it is now, you're not going to be able to open your camera because OBS is already using it. So I mean, I can come into here, and because the camera isn't in here I can put the C920 in there, but even that is not letting me because my other profile uses the C90. So what I need to do is I need to come down under the video. I need to come down to OBS virtual camera. So when I do this, what you'll see is, not at the moment, let me just click back in there. Something strange is going on. Let me go to video. What you'll see is nothing in there at the moment, but that's because I haven't set this as a virtual camera. If I click start virtual camera in here, and then I go and select my virtual camera, it's not letting me now. That's kind of weird. Okay, let me close that. Let me just see what's going on. Okay, let's try again. Alright, I think I need to exit Zoom and go back into it. So it will by default work. So I've got this open. I've got a lot of things going on. Remember, I'm videoing. I'm using Logitech to video this, and I'm trying to open up Zoom as well. It might be just a bit too much for it all. It's all gone a bit crazy. So I can't show it because it's not showing it properly. But it works, it does work. So it should be showing in there. So I select the camera source as OBS virtual camera. Look guys, you can test this out. You wouldn't go live straight away without testing all this stuff out. So under the audio settings, you notice I haven't got any audio coming in. I need to make sure I select my Yeti microphone. Now you can see, do you see that? You can see the sound moving. The system output speaker, test speaker is what it normally is. So generally it will already be set as default. Now if you're going to pipe in pre-recorded videos through OBS, then you're going to need to use a virtual camera, and I'm not going to talk about that. It basically means selecting a cable output to push the sound from OBS into Zoom, but I'm not going to cover that. So in there, I don't know why it's not working inside here, but it's not for some reason. So you want to make sure also your background and effects is set on none, and then it will work. So you guys can try this out. So there's more things you can do inside OBS, because not only this, you can set scenes up. So if I set another scene up, let's go and set another scene inside here. You can just click here and go, let's call this screen share. Okay. So screen share. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to screen share this screen that you're watching. Okay, so it's going to go inside, 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 inside. It's not going to look very pretty, but you'll get the idea. So I'm going to come into plus, and I'm going to go now to display capture. So I can capture, I've got two monitors on here. I'm going to call this main. Click OK. And you're going to see it's there. I can display my other monitor, which is over here if I want to. But I'm going to display this monitor, so you can see this is this monitor, and this is the monitor that you're looking at now. So you notice if I move that, it kind of moves. Click OK, and you can see. So if I move this out the way, you're going to see that it's showing more of the monitor in there. Do you see that? So now, really cool thing, people have asked, like, how do you get your little image to come up like you did for this? Well, it's really easy, because we've already set this guy up, me. I can put myself in there as well. So I can go to video capture, and I've already got one. I set one up. So I'm going to go add existing. I'm going to select the Brio, and I'm going to click OK. And now I've appeared in here. Now you're seeing me multiple times because I'm sharing a screen that's showing a screen, if you see what I mean. So then I can put myself down there, and I'm in the screen. So let me just move this off so I can just show you completely. So I'm moving OBS out the way, and that's the screen there, but you can't see it on my monitor because you can't see it through here. Do you see as I'm bringing it back in, you're seeing more of the screen? If I open that up, it goes right off. So that's how you can screen share as well. What's the great thing about this is I can start here, and this is what I do for my Zen pop-ups for you. I go, hello to Zen pop-ups, and now I'm going to share my screen, and then all I do is I click this in OBS, and you get this nice little fade. You'd see here scene transition, so you can set different scenes. So add swipe, let's click OK. You can just click OK to that. Now when I change over, it's going to do this. It's going to give me a different effect. So you can fade, you can do all these different effects between all these scenes that you set up. Now you can set a lot more things up here. You can have an audio input, you can show a browser window, you can have a color source, obviously display capture, game capture. So OBS is used a lot for games, so you can game capture, you can image slideshow, you can select a media source in there. But the only problem is if you select a media source pre-recorded video, you're going to need to have some sort of virtual cable to pipe the sound out, otherwise it's just going to be no sound at all. So you can put scene, shader, source mixer, text on here, so I could put some text in. This is what I do as well. I'm going to click OK, and you're going to see text in here, and then I'm going to and you can edit all these things at any stage. I'm going to click OK, and you'll now see your text is in here, and you can put that where you like. And then I can jump between scenes, and if I want to change this text, I can select it in there and go changed text, you know, reposition it for the next Zen pop-up, and that's basically how I do it. So this is how OBS can work for you. So you can start OBS, set it. Of course, you know, if you want to bypass using Zenler, you could stream this straight into a Facebook group, or straight into YouTube or something like that. You do have stream settings under settings. OBS is a really big program, but you can stream straight out here. You can output sources. There's lots of things that you can do with OBS, but it's a big program to learn all the ins and outs of. So if you want to use it in this basic manner, so that you can do, you know, because you can put PowerPoint presentations into here, whatever you like, and then have this nice little jump across and be able to do things like this, share your screen with OBS and use this, so you've got a little person pop up like me popping up overlay. Remember also live, when you're streaming this live, if you get yourself and you move yourself like that, then you'll actually see it live. So you could actually chuck yourself out of there if you wanted to. You could live go bigger or smaller. You know, this is all live. You can do this while you're live. So play around with it, have a go, see what you think. OBS, really powerful. It's a big program. It's a lot to talk about and understand, but if you're understanding the principles of being able to build a scene, then it makes it easy. Like if I go into my Zen pop-ups here, you can see I've got some media source in here, but you can see I've got my start screen. I've got this, I've got pre-recorded media if I have any. I can also screen share. I can show my other camera if I want to. I've also got NES and stand-up slide if I'm standing up presenting. So I've got all these scenes I can actually jump between, which is really handy for this kind of stuff. So you can set these little profiles up for different things that you're doing. So really powerful OBS. Definitely learn. There's lots of videos out there already on OBS, how to set it up, start it up, how to stream pre-recorded audio and the pre-recorded videos, how to use virtual cables, these kind of things. It's all out there. It's all available. It's really easy to use. Once you start to pick it up, you'll understand it. It's a little bit tricky when you've got Zoom running and you've got this running and piping it in and monitoring both. You know, there are a few little things to be aware of. When I'm screen sharing with Zoom, I actually use some advanced stuff to do it. So if I did this, let me try and do this. I'm not sure it's going to work, but let's give it a try. So I've got the virtual camera in here. I'm going to start a new meeting just to test. So I'm now connecting to Zoom, and my virtual camera should start showing here, which is of course OBS. But I'm having problems because I am recording through that as well, so I can't really show you. But basically, when I share screen, I don't just, I go to advanced and then I go content from second camera, and then what I do is I pick the camera. So I go through the cameras here until I get to the OBS camera. It's not showing you because I've got problems, but that's what I do to get it to work. All right, so let me just end that meeting for all and close that down. So that is OBS. A little bit of a look at it. I know it's kind of a little bit fragmented, this video. Or if you can take away from that, you've got versatility to do lots of things using OBS, and that you can use OBS inside Zoom. This is nothing to do with Zenler. We're just giving you some education on that might help you when you're doing, you know, for ideas about how you want to do your live streaming, this kind of stuff. So we're just giving you ideas. This is nothing to do with Zenler. You know, Zenler uses Zoom. Yep, you start Zoom, but your integration is then between OBS and Zoom. It's not anything to do with Zenler. So this is just an educational video showing you how to work. If you see our Zen pop-ups, the ones that I do are all using OBS. So if you like what you're seeing there with pre-recorded content and you want to do the same, now you know the software that we're using to do this. So as long as you know, then you can then investigate on your own further with this stuff. All right, guys, so back to me live now. That is Zen Pop-Up on OBS. So I hope you like that presentation there. It is involved using OBS. People have asked how we do it, so you know, I thought I'd show it to you just so that you can see how it's kind of working, all these options that you have. If you've never used OBS before and you're looking at this video and seeing all this stuff, you might be blown away by it. It's a progression, you know. It's like where you are now and to where you might want to be in, you know, 3 months or a year's time. These are things you're working on as course creators. You know, you're always trying to develop and do things better, and even us at Zen are always trying to do things better. Think of new ideas, things like that, like whiteboards, actually drawing diagrams and things like that, actually standing up and doing stuff. So we're always trying to do things better to give you a better experience and to make education a bit easier. And using OBS, it makes our lives a lot easier. Well, it makes my life a lot easier because I can actually do content and I can actually show it to you and focus in and edit things where I need to. Things I don't need to show you, I can edit out and I can do that and show that as pre-recorded content through OBS. So understanding that is the main thing. Now the other thing is, of course, like because you've got OBS, you've got Zoom, and you're probably screen sharing. I would say it's really important to have multiple monitors. So to have a multiple monitor is definitely a good thing to have. I've got 4 monitors here today. So, sorry, I have to, sometimes I've got more, but I've got 4 monitors here today, and these are I actually have a little monitor just to put OBS on. Now I haven't put it on there at the moment because I don't need to, because I'm only running OBS and Zoom straight into Zoom. But okay, so you want to know more. Sorry, but I can't show it to you. So let me just see if I can flip to that. No, so I haven't got the feed in there for that, but I wanted to show you the monitor. I've got a monitor here that you're looking at, and then I've got the monitor on the other side and the monitor down there. So OBS, really cool, really good to work with. Quick Zen pop-up for you on this. I do want to cover with OBS how you can just use OBS, not for streaming and all this stuff that might get a bit complex, but how you can use these same methods to create scenes to actually create a video. So this could be really good for you because one, OBS is free, and the other thing is that you can actually produce the video. So if you have an intro, you could run an intro and then you could just do a fade and then go into your presentation, stop the recording, and then suddenly you've got a video. You haven't even got to use an editor. So for some people, this could be a really good way of working. For me personally, it's a brilliant way of working. I can have all my stuff set up, I can go live, and I can produce a video from this live. This live that we're doing now will go straight onto our YouTube channel. So it's media for us, and it's quick media. You know, we're not spending hours and hours video editing videos and doing these things. We're doing it in in one take and we're putting it straight onto our YouTube channel. Of course, we could put it in other social media channels as well, you know. So it's a really powerful way of doing this sort of stuff. So if you can think that, how can I speed my workflow up? How can I not only speed it up, but look more professional? Then you're on the right track with maybe using something like OBS to do this. Save you a lot of time than if you were editing video snippets together to put on. And of course you can't do that live. We are live now, you know. So Zen Pop-Up, another one for you, using OBS like we do for Zen pop-ups.